Okay, so coming back at you again. It's late night. Can't sleep. You know how things go. Anyway, so me and the team, the round table, the group, we're sitting around talking, and I asked them this question. I just want to hear. We got some really smart people that sit around and talk with us, and we have a doctor, we have teachers, we have operators, we have medics, we have pilots, engineers, we got housewives, we got everybody, man. Just sitting around and we all just talk about, you know, what we're going to do, end of the world stuff, SHTF stuff, and just everyday stuff. And we always have a question and we kind of listen to how each person sees it. And we try to kind of get a mean so we'll know where average is. So I asked this question. I said, let's break society failure down out to 1 year, and let's ask ourselves basically who dies first. Good example is no matter what it is, it could be a solar flare, it could be a nuclear bomb, it could be, of course, whatever it is, more people might die faster, especially like a nuclear explosion or something like that. But we were more thinking like if the electricity just went off, an EMP type thing. Who dies in the first 10 days? If society has failed and every man's for himself and electricity has went off. So we kind of looked in the mental junk drawer and tried to find that answer. So everybody came up with some of the basics, like nursing home people are probably going to not make it because they require a lot of care, a lot of medication. They do require, machines and things like that. Dialysis people probably not going to make it. NICU people that's in the NICU, kids, babies that's in the NICU, probably not going to make it. ICU life support, probably not going to make it. So that's the ones that we were thinking first 10 days going to have a problem. Now I want you guys, if you don't mind, if you're listening to this and if you like some of the content, go ahead and subscribe. But it really doesn't matter if you do it or not. But I do want to hear your opinion. I want you to comment below and tell me what you think. Join this big round table with us and tell me what you think about that question. Like, who dies in the first 10 days? And what will they die from? And then we all had a consensus that water and water contamination would probably kill a lot of people, because when they can't drink fresh water, they're going to get desperate and start drinking bad water. So 10 days, probably the biggest killer is going to be, of course, non-medication, non-life support, things like that. And then, of course, bad water. Out to 30 days, the people that die at 30 days, out to 30 days are heart people, med-dependent people, a lot of low-income people, because the reason I say that, or the reason they said that, is because they probably don't have as many things stored up, many items stored up, and they're probably just not prepared. They'll have a lack of food, and especially the people in the high population areas within 30 days, 30-day mark, that's going to be a real shit show right there. So, yeah, high population areas, definitely. So that's at 30-day mark. At the 3-month mark, who dies? So we were thinking 3-month, the alcoholics, the drug users, the chronic illness people, and then, of course, if it's wintertime, you can just move all these categories up to the next category. So, because winter is a killer You know, the assassin, Mr. Winter, will kill you without you really thinking about it much. So, extreme summers also can kill you, especially in the South Florida where it gets, you know, really hot, or out in deserts and things like that. It gets really, really hot, and there's no air conditioner because the power's out. Then that's going to, you know, exacerbate things and make things just absolutely more of a shit show, and the body count's going to go way up at that time. So, and then you have to start thinking at 3 months, people are starting to get desperate. I'd say at 72 hours, people are going to start acting a little bit crazy. And then, you know, it's not just going to be food and hunger and water and, you know, lack of medical stuff. It's going to be each other, starting to a two-way range going type thing. Not funny, but it is going to be reality. 1 year, at 1 year. So we've talked 10 days, 30 days, 3 months, and now let's talk about 1 year. Who dies in 1 year? It's going to be like a combat casualty type thing, you know. It's going to be a lot of combat. It's going to be people fighting for power, people fighting for resources, people fighting for food, water, goods. So combat casualty is going to be a big killer in 1 year. So next one is hygiene. People's hygiene is going to be a big killer. Childbirth also be a killer because you don't have the things to help you through it. Infections, going to be another big killer because antibiotics and medical help is not going to be readily available. And then children are going to suffer a lot, because if their parents are sick, then they're going to suffer. And if the children are sick, the parents are going to suffer. You know, just ask yourself in the last year how many times you had to go to the doctor and get medication. Did you have to get an antibiotic? Did you have to get some type of treatment? Did you have to get a shot? I mean, what did you have to have? Did you have a high fever or things like that? So, you know, think about that, and then think about what would happen if you didn't have that care or that treatment. So that could have been things, you know, like if you had an infection or something. So anyway, these are the things that we had roundtable discussed, who all died within the first year. And the picture isn't very pretty, I promise you. And when you really get to thinking about it, you know, I read the book 1 Second After. That's a really, really good book, and it talks about some of these same things. The Going Home series books are really good too. A. American, I think, is the writer of those. They're eye-opening things. You know, it makes you think. It gives you ideas of possibilities that could happen. You know, is it all going to happen? I don't know. You know, who knows? I just know something big is coming. I know it's not going to be nice. I know how weak our grid is. I know how weak our federal government is in responding to things. I know that they probably can respond to one thing, but in one state or a couple states, but I'm sure they couldn't respond to all the states needing things. I know how our law enforcement is stretched and overworked, and I know how our hospitals are stretched and overworked now. Any kind of mass casualty or mass need, big group needing would absolutely overwhelm all these things. So, you know, the writing is on the wall for, you know, big issues. So think about those things and just kind of round table it. Get your friends together, get your family together, and ask yourselves, you know, what do they think? You know, and tell me in the comments below what you think about this question of who dies in the first 10 days, the first 30 days, the first 3 months, and then the first 1 year, and why. What kills them? Because if we know these answers, then maybe we can plan ahead a little bit, and we can kind of fix some things and save a few more lives. You know, it's not going to be easy, folks. Biggest thing is to pray, you know, because truthfully, we're none getting out of this thing alive. We all have to die, and unless the Lord comes back today. So you got to be prepared for what's next in the afterlife, and you got to have your soul right. You got to have your heart right, and you got to be right with everybody around you. You know, if you're having problems with someone, or you have a hang up about something, fix it now. Fix it right now. You know, ask God to forgive you. You know, repent. And what did John the Baptist say? Repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. And this is so true. So true. So join the discussion. Let's talk. Give us some comments. You know, I don't really like smart ass comments. I don't like people, you know, being negative Nancy's and assholes and things like that down below. I mean, I will delete your shit and block you, because these discussions are more for my people that will never know me in the future, my great grandkids and things like that. And but I'm opening up to the general public, because I think you have something to offer out there. I think everybody has something to offer. And maybe you will say something in the comments that we all can use to help us survive and make our lives better. Okay? Go out and make your life, your family, yourself, your teammates